My name's Jimmy.
What's up, you guys? Jimmy here with my review for the mid-season finale of the 6th season of The Walking Dead. And I have to say, this episode definitely was a really good episode to see here. Last week's episode, we saw that the tower had fallen, creating an opening for all those walkers that were surrounding Alexandria to come in. So I kind of go into this episode thinking that, a whole bunch of people are going to die in this episode. But the only person we can mention that pretty much is going to die one way or another is Diana. Spoiler alert there. A couple of the things involving her I thought were very interesting to mention. One is when she discovers that she's bitten, she's like, oh, shit. So not really a reaction I would have expected. I think it's probably her being accepting, and also making the most out of her final moments, not being so worried and panicking so much. But, I thought that was interesting and sort of funny in the same way. I mean, you don't really see much of stuff like that in the show because of how serious it is. But the other thing is when she's kind of talking with Rick, she kind of tells Rick that the people are his people now, which I thought was cool because I mentioned it in my review last week. So it was nice to see in this episode mentioned. But, in the episode we did see the wolf that Morgan had captured. Him involved with it, which that was my only prediction on the mid-season finale. Nothing specific about him, just that he was going to be somehow involved with this episode, which we basically see that Carol finds out. She tries to kill the wolf, and Morgan tries to prevent her. They both end up getting knocked out, and people that come to the rescue, the wolf has Denise captive, so he gets their guns, and he walks off. Which, I say with him, it kind of makes me wonder a little bit what he has planned. Is he gonna pretty much use her as a shield, or is he gonna actually take her back with him? Which that's probably going to be the choice there. Otherwise, he's going to die of infection. So, I mean, it just would be smart just to see. Which, the end of the episode, we see the people that were with Rick. We see that they all walk off, with covered in the guts, kind of like from the first season, and that is the end of the episode. Which, honestly, it was definitely different, and also kind of disappointing, I'd have to say. It's different. It's not what I would have expected on a cliffhanger. Like, it's literally no cliffhanger at all. But since I'm a fan of the show, I'm always going to look forward to when it does return. So, I say when it comes to this episode, not the best cliffhanger. I mean, not the best mid-season finale, but not the worst episode. So, there's that. But, also in this episode, last week I was kind of being sucked into the possibility of Carl getting his eye shot out, which we didn't see in this episode. But we do know that not so much trust can be put into Ron. But, it would have been a little interesting to see in this episode, but it's fine either way. But, even though we did not have a cool cliffhanger, we did get to see a little bit of a sneak peek of the next chapter when The Walking Dead does return, which it involves Daryl, Abraham, and Sasha going down the road, and there's these bikers in the middle of the road, and they're like, that doesn't belong to you, that doesn't belong to you, that under your chair doesn't belong to you. Your guns don't belong with you. The fuel in that truck doesn't belong to you. And he says, pretty much he's mentioning that he works for Negan, which he's like this big character that's going to appear later on in this season. Which, like I've mentioned before, other than the very first issue of the comics, I have not read the comics. So we can definitely see that Negan's going to be brought up as a antagonist for the show as of right now. So interesting to see someone kind of, sort of replacing what the governor kind of was, because the governor was like this big human threat that lasted more than one season, because we had season 3 with him. We had all the way up to the mid-season finale for season 4. So he lasted a bit, but definitely gets me a little bit more pumped than initially for the second half of this season. And even the actor Morgan, who's playing Negan, had mentioned when he's going to appear as the character, which, I got spoiled for it. Not going to mention it in case any of you guys don't know yet, just to get you a little bit surprised. But that's pretty much my thoughts on the episode. Let me know your thoughts down below, as well as predictions that you have for the show when it does return. And you can check out my past reviews for the show, as well as reviews for The Flash, Arrow, Once Upon a Time, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Gotham, all that great stuff and more. And as always, my name is Jimmy, and until next time, bye.